Very exciting news, the release date of the new Hearthstone Mercenaries mode was announced. It's October 12th. The Hearthstone Mercenaries mode really is going to be a gigantic new mode, essentially a new game that happens to be on the Hearthstone interface. It is free to play, and through playing through the initial missions, you're going to get 8 initial mercenaries. Blizzard did make a presentation on how the Hearthstone Mercenaries mode is played. However, I believe that they missed their target a little bit in the sense of watching the presentation almost required a knowledge of how Mercenaries even worked when no one knew anything about how Mercenaries played. What this video is going to do is going to be me talking through the Hearthstone Mercenaries fundamentals while the tutorial is playing in the background. So essentially what Hearthstone Mercenaries is, it's a team battle of mercenaries versus mercenaries, and if you've played Pokemon before, it's like a Pokemon team battle. The gameplay is simple. You have a phase where you select each mercenary and choose an ability. At the very beginning, each of your mercenaries only has one ability, so you can only choose that one. Mercenaries have an attack value and a health value. Many of the mercenaries have a attack keyword. Attack is how you would expect a Hearthstone attack to go off. Your mercenary does damage equal to its attack value to their mercenary does damage back to yours. Abilities that do not attack do not take retaliation damage. After that, you get to a phase where the combat resolves. You repeat this process until one side loses all of their guys. Now, what order do your mercenaries go in? It depends on the speed of the ability used. The mercenaries fight and their skills go off in the speed order. Lowest speed goes first. In the case of a tie, it's random amongst those of the same speed. Speed is certainly going to be important because if your abilities outspeed the opponents and you kill them before they use their ability, they do not get to do their move. There's 3 classes: Protector, red; Fighter, green; and Caster, blue. While in offense, fighters deal double damage to casters, casters deal double damage to protectors, and protectors deal double damage to fighters. This will be a strong influence on your choice of action since you're going to want to deal double damage and avoid taking double damage. During resolution, if your mercenary counters theirs, you do the double damage on offense, but if their mercenary is a type that counters yours, they do not do double damage on defense. Again, with the Pokemon reference, it's a lot like the basic fire, grass, water starter counters. Fire beats grass, beats water, beats fire. Red beats green, beats blue, beats red. In a battle, there's 3 phases. Phase 1 is placing your mercenaries. You select 3 of your mercenaries from your entire team and place them on the board. Positioning matters, you can't move them around after. The rest stay on the bench. Step 2, you choose your abilities. In PvE, you can see the opponent's skills and their plan and how fast their skills will activate, giving you a lot of information to work with. Some abilities are powerful and have cooldowns, both before they can be used and before they can be reused. There are characters with synergies with each other. This could be its own video. A lot of planning that can be done on building your mercenary team and your choice of ability and your timing of the use of abilities in these battles. Phase 3 is resolution. The mercenaries fight each other after you've programmed all of their abilities, and the mercenaries will die when their health falls to 0. If it's one of the mercenaries on your team, you go back to phase 1, you choose another mercenary to replace the mercenaries who have died, and you place them on the board. In a PvE bounty, those mercenaries will be permanently unusable during the course of that bounty, unless resurrected by a spirit healer. Now for kicks, let's take a look at the final battle of the tutorial mission. It's Blitztick against Kappenhager and Nullfriend. These are the 3 initial mercenaries you start with. No real choice but to deploy them. But you're at a pretty big advantage because you have 2 red guys against 2 green guys. You do have Zyrilla, a blue guy who takes double damage from those gnolls, so you gotta be careful of them. You can roll your mouse over them and see what their strategy is. That Riverpaw gnoll plans to give its attack to Kappenhager, and Kappenhager is just gonna do a basic attack. So you can see that Kappenhager is going to have 5 attack planned. Now I'm going to note this is a big misplay. Oh no, not necessarily. See, Xyrella has this ability that can reduce an ability as an attack by 2. If those two combined had 10 total attack, well 5 total attack, if the green guys attack the blue guy, Xyrella, then double damage would be dealt. And I'm going to rewind here and like point out something that's a bit of a misplay as well. So note that Xyrella reduced this null's attack to 0. However, the player still attacked Kappenhager instead with both Cariel and Gromish. That's a misplay because they take retaliation damage. So if you had attacked the one that had 0 attack, you would take 0 retaliation damage. Note that Blinding Luminance has a fairly fast speed, so this should be a fairly common combo where Xyrella reduces the attack of an enemy and then you use a normal attack on that enemy, taking fewer attack retaliation damage. Okay, round 2 of combat. Always, you should at least take a quick look at the enemy abilities. On this particular turn, those two are going to be summoning a null. And once again, huge misplay! Xyrella is going to be reducing the attack on Kappenhager, but these two guys are going to attack the null and therefore take retaliation damage. They could take 0 retaliation damage. Now, this is definitely a turn where the taunt is required, because otherwise poor Xyrella is going to get destroyed by that double attack by Kappenhager. So, as you can see, you can change your actions. Cariel decides to taunt instead, but note, this is a big misplay. Xyrella is using her ability on the null instead of on the guy who's going to double attack. Furthermore, Riverpaw Null is going to be tossing weapon to another character, but note the order. Kappenhager goes before Riverpaw Null, so that means Riverpaw Null can at best toss his weapon to the assisted null over on the right side. So there's no point in using the illumination on the Riverpaw Null. You should definitely use it on Kappenhager, so Kappenhager goes from 3 attack down to 1 attack, making the double attack significantly less damage. Now this is the key move here. Gromish is going to defeat that filler null over on the right side, and that's a big deal because Gromish has an ability of overkill, get +5 attack. I imagine that's going to be very, very strong. Deathblow gain +5 attack, rather. I imagine that's going to be very, very strong in the early missions, especially in PvE, where you're going to be able to actually control whenever the enemy stuff dies. So here, taunt is really important again, because you got to protect Gromish from dying. If the player had taken the early game a little bit better, then Gromish would not be dead if the opponent were to use an ability like Hogger Smash, which goes through taunt. But, you know, at least we show that the abilities go through taunt, but attacks must attack taunt. Now, fortunately, though, this is a tutorial mission, and you're expected to win, but I actually believe you can misplay the tutorial enough this particular mission so that you lose. So, you know, props on this actually having a lose condition. And I don't know if there's any people who are coming to this particular video after losing to Hogger. I would imagine that would be very similar to losing to the Hearthstone basic fight against Illidan. It's losable, and it may even seem like Hogger is super OP, it has a lot of health, but the goal of that particular fight is to utilize your Mercenaries to the best of their abilities, use Gromish to kill off that weak null, he gets a +5 attack, and then he does double damage to all of those green nulls.
That's a lot of damage!
I'm aware that's a severe overanalysis of the tutorial Hogger fight, but it bears saying just how potentially deep this game can go, and how using your abilities correctly really does matter. And that's on the characters, which literally most of them only had one ability. So there's 2 main modes in Mercenaries, PvE and PvP. I'm going to talk about the PvE system first, the bounty system. You're going to select a bounty to go hunt, and you know what the end boss is, so you can gear your particular mercenaries to be slightly stronger against the boss. You can see the entire map beforehand. The map is going to be randomly generated, but once you get on the map, you can peruse through the map. Note that the green, red, and blue icons represent what enemy you will primarily face there, or who like the particular boss of that mini encounter is. So you could perhaps bring a specialized team and pick the route that your team will be strongest against. Send in the blue team against the red path, perhaps. And you can avoid taking the fights that your team is weak against. There's branching paths. You get to choose which battles or which events you'd like to take on. Most of the nodes are battles. There's going to be some elite battles, which are harder but give you greater XP and greater rewards. When you win a battle, you get to choose a treasure for one of your mercenaries. This treasure will be usable for the entire bounty, but just for the bounty. You don't keep it after the bounty. That does imply, though, that once your mercenary gets a treasure, it does change how that mercenary is going to play, and probably will make that mercenary stronger, at least in the short term, for the next few fights. One of the big draws of the game mode is going to be the progression, because the progression is permanent for your characters. They grow stronger, and for your town, anything you build and upgrade is going to stay with you. It means in PvP, you get to show off that progression by taking your strongest team to fight against their strongest team. Mercenaries gain experience through each bounty encounter, and win or lose, they keep that experience. When the mercenaries level up, they unlock their second ability at level 5 and their third ability at level 15. Mercenaries start without equipment, and as you play, you unlock equipment by completing achievements and task board tasks. And so there are 3 ways to increase a mercenary's power. Level the mercenary up. As they level, they gain attack and health points. Level the abilities of the mercenary up, or you can level the equipment of the mercenary up. This takes the mercenary's specific coin. That's the currency that you're going to get through playing the game, as well as opening packs. Each coin is tied to one specific mercenary. Thus, it's going to require a certain level of flexibility. If you happen to collect a bunch of characters' coins, you're going to be encouraged to use that character more. And you have a village which grows. The workshop is the one that lets you build all the other buildings or upgrade them. The later buildings are going to cost gold, as well as upgrading them will cost gold. This has come under some criticism. However, playing the mode will also get you gold because you gain experience, which goes on your experience track, which gains you gold. Now, the single player experience track is probably going to move slower. However, there is the PvP element. I imagine you'd be able to collect a lot of reward track experience through PvP. Then you could collect gold. You can use that gold to upgrade your buildings, or to just buy packs in the different mode. Like, you can actually buy real Hearthstone packs with the gold as well. You have a tavern, which is just the collection manager. You have the travel point, which is the place where you go to all the bounties on. You have the merchant cart, where you get packs as well as special other offers. You get the mailbox, which is where you collect in-game announcements. When you get packs, over on the bottom right, you can drag the packs to open them. And you have a campfire in the middle, which is the quest and the achievement log. The mercenary packs are going to be 100 gold apiece. You're going to get a few through the course of playing the game, and certainly during the introductory mode, you're going to be given a few packs to start you off. During the first 10 packs you open, you are guaranteed a legendary, similar to normal Hearthstone mode. And after that, every 5 packs on average, you're going to get an epic level mercenary. Every 20 packs on average, you're going to get a legendary. Noteworthy is that every single pack you open, there will be a mercenary in it until you are out of that particular mercenary. So you should collect all of the rare mercenaries pretty fast because of that. In the mercenary packs as well are going to be the coins. The coins are, again, the things that you're going to use in order to upgrade your mercenaries' abilities and to upgrade your mercenaries' equipment. Also, you can craft the mercenaries by collecting enough of that character's coins. Now this video, again, is intended to give you the basics of how the Hearthstone Mercenaries mode works. I hope you basically know how the entire Hearthstone Mercenaries mode works after watching this video. That's Hearthstone Mercenaries. I'm looking forward to the adventure when the game mode comes out.